Throwback Thursday, February the 9th, 2023. It's about 10:37 a.m. in the morning. I greet all human beings around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, or your religious beliefs may be. Doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't even matter whether you proclaim toughest to the proclaim weakest person on the face of this earth. Doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. I greet all of you all with that same universal greetings of peace and the blessing of God be with you. Today I'm here tracing the last 24 hours or so of my son Brian Lamont's death, hanging, lynching here in Carbondale, Illinois. We have, they trying to say it is suicide, but I know it wasn't suicide. They know it wasn't suicide. They just didn't want to investigate. Let it be known that he was on their payroll, and I'm going to show you why. Because I have documented police recording 911 calls here from the University Mall here on March the 18th, 2021. My son was found murdered, hung, lynched on March the 19th, 2021. Now, at this particular University Mall here in Carbondale, Illinois, the police got a call, and I played the call several times from my son. And in that call, he had asked the police dispatcher, the 911 dispatcher, was he still on their payroll? Now, he wouldn't ask them if he on their payroll unless they was paying him for something. We know he was a felon, so he couldn't be a police as far as getting a check. But I want to go inside here and I want to show y'all something. I was wondering if they had phone booths inside of here. How y'all doing this morning? I was wondering if they had phone booths inside of here, and I went in earlier. I don't know if in 2021 whether or not they had phone booths inside of here. I don't claim ownership to this music that they playing inside of here, but I'm going and show you where I seen a place where he possibly made a phone call. How you doing this morning?
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Blessed by the best.
Amen.
Doing a little investigation, my son was found hung a couple of years ago, and this is one of the last places he made a phone call from. Do you know if these phone booths been here? It used to be a phone booth there. Do you know if it was here in 2021?
Yeah,
you?
for sure it was.
Okay, thank you. If you ever get a chance, have somebody to look up Raymond Ivy YouTube channel, and you could see the thing of my son being hung. They didn't have it in the newspaper.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here's where they said they have restrooms and telephones, and right here is a telephone booth. Now, it used to be a J.C. Penney's inside of here, but it's no longer in here. And the people from J.C. Penney called the police, I believe, after my son called to ask them to come by the eyeglasses part to get my son up out of here. But when the police responded to my son's 911 call, the dispatcher told the police told the dispatcher that my son wanted to know was he's still on their payroll. And we got it documented, recorded. I got copies of it. And the dispatcher told him he don't call 911 for that. Ain't that something? But anyway, I'm going to go to another spot where my son was made a phone call that I'm gonna try to make a few rounds. Y'all help me in praying that we get justice for my son. I also want to note that on that phone call with my son to the Carbondale Police Department on that Thursday evening or Thursday night on March the 9th, March the 18th, 2021 from this mall. 21 from this mall. He also asked to speak to somebody by the name Sarah. Sarah no longer works there, but the dispatcher sent him to her voicemail, and I would like to know what did he tell Sarah, because Sarah don't work there no more. He also asked who was working, and she named Sergeant Draper. Sergeant Draper is one of the ones been in all the little situations with my son, and you'll see it in my YouTube videos. I have a suspicion with him because everybody that I talk to in the streets, they're afraid of Sergeant Draper. They said Sergeant Draper, when he tells them if they make a complaint, he the one oversee the complaints. I don't know if that's true or not, but my son asked for Sergeant Draper. Think about that. I'm still here in Carbondale after the stop that when the police came to the University Mall for 2 calls concerning my son late on that night. The place here, this is on Cedar View Street in East Main. It's on South Cedar View Street and East Main Street here in Carbondale, Illinois. This is what the people at the warehouse liquor called the police and said that it's a young man that wouldn't leave, but he asked him to leave, but he said if he got up that he would pass out, and he said he's real cold. You know what I mean? And when the dispatcher got the call, the dispatcher sent the police over here saying that it was the man said somebody was trespassing. The man didn't mention nothing about trespass. The man was calling for my son's safety. The reason why I'm showing y'all these here, because the last 24 hours of my son's death, the Carbondale police knew where he was. These white females that had his t-shirts and the one had his wallet, they knew where he was at and whoever murdered him, because he didn't hang himself. But I'm just going back tracking all the places that my son was at. The police had to know where he was at. And then all these calls from the University Mall, my son telling them, you see what I'm saying? Letting them know that he on their payroll, and my son telling them ain't nothing wrong with his mind. He in his right mind, and said he's not high. He said he'll prove it to him by doing a backwards flip. If all these calls, you would think if the police is trying to say that my son committed suicide, the detective can check the penitentiaries, Danville penitentiaries, and all these other hospitals and get my son's illegally obtain my son's medical records just to say that he committed suicide. But all these calls, why didn't y'all get him put into the hospital? Why didn't you call an ambulance at warehouse liquor when the man told you the situation? You know why you didn't? Because y'all covering up my son's death. Y'all trying to make it look like ain't no homicide going on here. We remember, I don't know if that guy name is Strickland, but in 2015, when that brother was kidnapped, that was on the police payroll, kidnapped and murdered. But I ain't done, y'all. I'm still here in Carbondale, Illinois. This is Smith and Burton Street. Smith leads out there to the street Oakland, which you see that truck just going past. That's down the street where my son was found hung, lynched. But the reason why I'm on this corner again, because I'm reenacting his last movements. Down in that corner where you see that SUV and that truck, to the left, a lady's doorbell camera captured my son at about 24 minutes after midnight on March the 19th, 2021. That's in the AM. And I have a copy of it. I showed it to people and I watched it. And she made a call saying that, told the police that somebody's trying to get in her house. And they asked her how long ago. And she said 10 minutes ago. And they said around what time? And she said 2 o'clock. So if it was 2 o'clock when they was trying to get in her house, and her camera showing the time that he was knocking on the door, which all he said is, ma'am, it's important. He did have what looks like an axe in his hand. But if you see the wood on the axe, you can see it was brand new. The reason why I'm down here, because when I looked at this lady's doorbell camera, it skipped it some minutes when some seconds when my son was leaving, and you can hear somebody else's voice. But the lady called the police, so that means the police had to respond. Now, they found his body hung right down the street where I'm going in a little bit, at about, I think, 1 something in p.m. in the afternoon, so they say. But this is where he was last seen with an axe in his hand, but wasn't doing anything illegal. The lady didn't have no trespassing on her thing, and all he did was say, ma'am. He didn't say, open this door before I do something. And then he gently left, but you could see he was afraid of something. While I'm on this particular street, and I'm going to tell y'all, me and my daughter met the guy that lived right in that White House right across from her, and he said that he was her husband or ex-husband. And he heard about what happened to my son, and he said his wife think different than she told the police last time, but she ain't told me nothing. But what I'm gonna show y'all something else is right down the street here, right across there where you see all that board up stuff. People was giving me some information about that Sycamore Street, down the street where my son was found hung. But they was giving me information that was vital. And they was people that had mental problems and people that was getting high. But guess what? The police got to interrogating one of them. And also, you could see they closed the thing down because them people was giving me information. I'll be back in a minute. Carbondale police, y'all. That's something. They coming on the scene. They coming to everywhere I was at. I'm over here on the corner of, that's Wall Street. You can see it, that's Wall Street there. And let me see if I can see the other sign somewhere. But it's Wall Street, and on the corner of Wall Street in Maine. This is where Sergeant Draper claimed he had, for the Carbondale Police Department, he claimed he seen my son on his way to work on the day that they found him hung, Friday, March the 19th, 2021. He said he was crossing the intersections of Main and Wall Street. I know this is definitely Main. Anybody from around here, they know it's Main. I don't see the other sign that says Main. But now, they said, the detective said that they came on this corner. He said, Sergeant Draper said he seen my son at approximately about 7:13 or 14 a.m. in the morning on his way to work. He said he seen my son on this corner somewhere now, straddled on a bicycle. Now you see the surrounding area now. If anybody know my son, Sergeant Draper, know it. I'm looking for cameras. They might have some hidden around here somewhere. But if he seen my son on this corner, on his way to work here in Carbondale, Illinois, at 7:13 or 7:14, but when they look at the cameras from the city light pole, guess what? They didn't see my son, but they seen Draper. Ain't that something? Where was my son at? He probably was already hung, and Draper already knew that. My son freaking places like this here, the liquor stores. Everybody knew him. You know what I mean? He wasn't an angel, but he wasn't the worstest around here. But where's the coverage that Sergeant Draper seen, y'all? It's a lot of stuff strange, but I'm backtracking, y'all. Just in case the police, Sergeant Draper, said that he didn't say Wall and Mains, he said Marion and Maine. That's where I'm at right now in Carbondale, Illinois, Jackson County. On the corner of, we can see here, Marion and Maine. Okay. Remember he said he seen my son straddling over, in his report, seen him straddling over a bicycle on Thursday, March the 19th, 2021, about 7-something in the morning. I'm looking around, I'm trying to see if there's any cameras. It may be, it looked like it's a camera up there. It looked like a camera up there. Y'all see it to the right on the top by the T. It looked like it might be a camera there. But if it ain't, we came on the corners of here's down the street. It was Wall Street, but this is Marion Street. So we just covering all our tracks. You know, in any case, whatever street it was on, Brian wasn't seen on no bike, straddling, or nothing else. I'm right here on the corner of Sycamore and Oakland Street, West Sycamore and North Oakland Street here in Carbondale, Illinois, at the Gaslight Apartments. I can see they done took their sign down over here, I believe it is. But this is the one where I'm gonna take you to, where it's strange, where this white female claims she found my son's t-shirts, where his shirts, his mask, and an axe that he had. This is on the Sycamore side in the 400 block, and this is the one it is 400G 37-42 on the 3rd floor. I'm gonna go up and show you what all she found, and tell me how did she find this before the police did. Now she had claimed to found my son's shirts just like this. It's 2 apartments. That's 40 right there where she was staying. She claimed she opened her door at 8 o'clock and found them like this. Then when I made a YouTube, she changed it and said it was 11 o'clock. But then she took the shirts apart and took pictures of them. Why would a person do that? The day of my son's death. Then she went downstairs. She said to the 2nd floor. She went down to the 2nd floor. And look what she said she found. How she found his mask was right there. Ain't that something? She finding all this here the day of my son's death. Then she go farther. Now she going down here without no shoes on. She said she going to get her food. Then she noticed glass down here. And noticed this here fire extinguisher. They put a new one in. She noticed the box was broken. And she noticed that the fire extinguisher was missing. Ain't that something? Guess where it was at? Up there where my son was at. But let me show you what else she did. She came outside this building. It's doing a lot, ain't it? But let me show you what she found next. She came out of the building, y'all. Came down here. And guess what she found laying there? You see that? She found the axe. But the axe that she found, the wood was much newer because it was all taped up. And the police got all this stuff from her. Now, they collected this stuff from her. Now, you would think if they seen them at 24 minutes after midnight down there on Burton and Smith on this lady's doorbell camera, and they seen the axe in his hand and it didn't have any tape on it, and you could see it was brand new, and then it was all taped up here. Something would be strange, ain't it? That this lady finding all this stuff before the police did. Ain't that something? And turned it in. Now, this is, first she said she found it at 8 o'clock in the morning. Then she changed that after they seen my YouTube video. She claimed that she found it at 11 something in the morning because she had ordered some food from Walmart that was going to be delivered at 12, but she was going downstairs with no shoes on in the midst of winter time from the third floor to down here to the first floor, finding all this stuff, and she gonna wait 45 minutes or so before the food be delivered because it was supposed to be delivered at 12. Something ain't right there, is it? But they didn't go in her house. They didn't go in none of the people's houses and none of these buildings to check and see. My son had a gash on the back of his hand, left hand. They going all the way down to the tendons. But I ain't done. Okay, I'm back here, still over here on 400 North Oakland Street and 400 West on Sycamore. Y'all remember right here, it's the Gaslight's apartment. You know, in this apartment they got from the first to the third floor, they got two houses, you know, side by side like I showed you. One on the first, two on the first, two on the second, and two on the third. Now, this is what she claims she found all of my son's stuff on the Friday, March 19, 2021. Now, right around here, now this building is connected. You see where I'm going? I'm going around the corner here. And this is the other side of the building, but the Oakland side, where my son's body was found. Now, she found all this stuff over here, she claimed, on the third floor by her door, because she heard somebody knocking like at the nighttime, but never answered the door. But this is the Oakland side right here. And you see what the address is. It's 400 F 31-36. Now, all that stuff found around the corner. Here it is. My son's body found over here, y'all. My son's body found up here. There was a whole bunch of stuff up there. They never took it to the crime lab, neither bite, plants, and everything. This is my son now. His body found up here. The missing fire extinguisher was sitting right up here on the top. Sitting up. A drop of blood or two right back. He was sitting up here screamed up. Ain't that something? The individuals that were living here, they gone now. I think the apartment's still empty. They the ones said that they came out to get the mail and they seen them hanging up here. Ain't that something, y'all? Now, all the way around this corner now. All the way around this corner. Now, my son up here, You remember Sergeant Draper said he seen him at 7 something in the morning. He claimed, but they can't show no video of it. But he up in this, on this here. How did his clothes get all the way around here? And how did this female be able, she took pictures of all of it before the police even got it. But she claims she found it at 10, at 8 in the morning. Then when they seen my YouTube video, she changed it around to saying that she found them at 11. But I ain't done yet, y'all. I'm gonna show you something that a white girl says she found my son's wallet 2 days after my son's death. She so happened to get high with it. Found it all the way down here, but I'm finna take you down there in a minute. I'm still in Carbondale. That's Sycamore right there in the street where you see the back of the stop sign is Smith Street. Where I just showed you on Smith and Burton, where the lady's camera caught my son at her door. But this is right down the street here, and these little things here that they done closed up. 900 West Sycamore. This is where my son used to get high with 99.99% white individuals, and all of them was cool with me. They was giving me information concerning my son's death, and so happened the police took one of the ladies, is in my YouTube, and took her down to interrogate her, but wouldn't interrogate the white school teacher that was spending his food stamp card. But let me tell you about another white female that lived right up in here She said her and my son stayed up in these here apartments here before. And now down here, she said she found my son's wallet 2 days after his death, right on one of these stairs. She said she found his wallet right on one of these stairs now, y'all. Ain't that something? She found his wallet. He was found hung about 5 blocks away from here. You see what she said? She found his wallet at 2 days. And then I told the police. And so happened when she was going to give me the wallet when I came back down here, she told me the wallet was mysteriously missing from her mother's house. She had it in the bag up under the sink. She gave me her mother's number and I still got it. But her mother said that she wasn't telling the truth. But now down here is where the lady we last seen him alive on the cameras. Down the street where you see that gray car at the stop sign, to the right is where the white girl found his t-shirts, claims she found his t-shirts. Ain't that mysteriously? They didn't take her down to the station. They didn't look in her house. They should have looked in her house for blood and things. They should have looked in them Indian students' houses that said they heard all them people. A female said that she heard some beating on her door so loud the night before my son was found hung. She said it was so loud she got up and it stopped. And she went back to sleep because she said it must have been a dream. But she said it was shaking her apartment. She said it must have been a dream, so she didn't wake her husband up. Who believe that shit? Excuse my language, y'all. All of them, that not damn house in the 400 block of Sycamore, where his t-shirts and things and masks and stuff was found, where the axe was found. The duct tape wasn't took off the axe to see if anybody else fingerprints on it, because it wasn't on there at 24 minutes after midnight when my son was seen with it. It wasn't duct taped it up. Ain't near one of them houses was looked into. Blood can be in there. DNA and my son could be in there. Nam house in the Oakland part. Not one house in Oakland part, not one house in Nam. One of them buildings on Oakland or Sycamore was looked into. Not now one of them people in that building was took down to the police station to be interrogated. Something wrong with that, ain't it? I'm going to end this here YouTube by saying if the Carbondale chief of police is really interested in trying to find out what happened to my son, he needs to take a look at these latest videos, all the videos that I've been making. He needs to look at the timeline that I just made today on this. He needs to look at some of the things that his CSI personnel, I think her name is Mooney, whatever her name is, how could she not know where the $3 came from out of my son's hand when she was right there in the hallway when the Deputy Coroner Sam Bryant pried his hand open and got it in there. Then out of his hand, and then they didn't put it in the evidence bag, but they put it in the body bag. Then she was at the autopsy when the coroner opened up the body bag and got it out, but she put in her first report that my son, the $3 was in my son's pocket. There was some change in my son's pocket. Why did the white female, Brianna, change her story when she found my son's t-shirts? Why did Moody the CSI lady, have to change her report from April to, I think, June or July, saying that the money wasn't found in his pocket, the $3. You know why? Because they did a sloppy, incompetent death investigation. It wasn't a death investigation. If you look at a lot of the things that they put in there, Sergeant Jared Dunnigan talking about some female said my son robbed her, but she didn't make a police report. I'm gonna leave her right now, but check this out real good. Want y'all to get a good look at the female that had my son's wallet. Says she found his wallet two days after he was found hung. This is me and my daughters and them. We was making a video back in 2001. I think it was around June of 2002. 21 rather, and 3 months after my son was found on. But she heard me talking about Brian and said she knew him, and told me she had his wallet. And you can see here how she's smiling. And see, I got my pen and paper while my other little investigators getting the pictures. And she was letting me know that she was giving me her mother's phone number. So when I came back down there again, she was going to give me my son's wallet. So I put it on my YouTube, but I didn't put her picture on there at the time. And the area where I showed y'all where she said she found my son's wallet 5 blocks away from where me and her standing at right now. Then all of a sudden the detectives went down there interrogating all the drug addicts and the mentally ill individuals trying to find out who the female is. And when I came back up in July, guess what she told me? That detectives came to her mother's house and the wallet is missing. After this one, I'm going to show you the white female getting out of a car where you see her with a little baby in her hand going into the building where she says she found my son's. The other white female says she found my son shirts, masks, and the axe and took it in her house.